Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Up Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, KG Landry. K9 will be joining us here soon. I thought Bob Cook was going to be with us. I guess not. Maybe he'll join soon. I'm not sure. But with me is my faithful partner,
Sidekick. Sidekick.
my sidekick, and the enthusiast, Mark. Man, what's going on? How are you enjoying this Minnesota beautiful weather?
It's all right, man. I had a quick turn
Yep.
on light though, because it gets dark pretty quick here now.
Yeah, we're always supposed to be having our first cold front starting tomorrow. Highs in the lower 60s. That's supposed to last throughout the week until Saturday.
Ooh, you know what
So
that means? No more mowing
yeah,
grass.
that's one way to look at it. But man, it's reminded me that winter is approaching us pretty damn quickly, and I'm not too
Yeah,
crazy
I'm more
about
worried
that.
about the leaves I got to rake here in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So real quick, news came out according to Brian Alvarez, and this is unconfirmed. We are just going according to Brian Alvarez. AJ Lee is absolutely being re-signed after 10 years with WWE. Now, this is the thing. Don't know if this is a one-off. From what I understand, the plans are to have a mixed tag team match at their next PLE, which is the first PLE on ESPN, WrestlePalooza. And I tell you, man, they're really trying to stick it to AEW, because, of course, on the same day, September 20th, is AEW's big pay-per-view all out. So, this whole thing of we're not competition for AEW, yeah, I think that we are reading between the lines at this point when it comes to that.
So hold on now. Is it still a PLE if it's a pay-per-view? Because that's what you're getting charged.
Well, it's not really a pay-per-view because it's no different than Peacock. You have to pay so much a month for Peacock. Well, it's the same thing for ESPN Plus.
So you
You're
can't order
paying.
through your cable company, your dish networks or anything?
Nope.
Oh, all
It's
right.
only through this app. And again, it's really no different than owning, having Peacock or Netflix or whatnot,
Only
because the
only
app
four
is,
times more expensive.
well, right, exactly. The app's still there for you to use during non-WWE events. But as you said, it is absolutely, it's more expensive. And I'll be honest with you, I am not sure yet if I'm going to be getting the app or not. This last PLE that WWE just had may have been our last PLE that we are doing reviews of for WWE. I know a lot of people may disagree with me. I know you don't, but if I'm going to pay money, I would rather pay $50 for AEW's pay per view than even $30 for WWE's, because look, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, AEW's pay per views,
Pay-per-views are
they're
better.
much better.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
So
I think the only thing they're really missing nowadays is the element of surprise. There isn't much surprise, but as far as action,
right,
AEW's action is so much better, I think. But
absolutely.
WWE still has that surprise factor, your AJ Lee's, your Brock Lesnar's, whatever. So,
You know what? In a right, you are correct, but in many ways, I'll disagree, because yes, we have those surprises every now and then from WWE, but more times than not, WWE announces what their surprise is going to be. It's not a whole lot of, oh my God, this person just showed up. It's a lot of, tune in for SmackDown, AJ Lee making her,
in-ring
return in
debut,
10
yeah.
years. Right. So, in AEW, they do still have their surprises. And Brian Danielson, oh, that was a big surprise. And there's been a few other surprises.
Yeah. All right. Shall we get into it?
So, yeah, yep. Let's get into it.
All right. So we open Raw with a recap of the PLE, which we did last night. So there's absolutely no reason to go through this because it was horseshit. And that's putting it nicely. All right. So then we go to
Right,
Punk and Adam Pierce or yeah, Punk and Adam Pierce. And Punk is guarding the only way to get into the building. So Seth can't get in unless he gets past Punk. All right.
right,
Let's see. Then we go to Jey Uso to the ring, calls out the Vision. LNA comes out instead. They play a blame game of who's who and who did what, whatever. Pretty soon, Braun and Bronson come out, spouting shit back and forth between each other, and ends up being a match for later tonight. Um,
right.
they said you ought to be thankful that Paul's not here because he's the one that holds us back. So,
Yeah. So, with Jay Uso, he, he is kind of taking a little bit more on that character of the in between of heel and babyface in a way because he's been attacking a couple of the baby faces, the LA Knights and CM Punk, right? Do you foresee them doing a complete full heel turn of Uso?
no, not yet. He's too hot yet.
Yeah,
He's still too hot. I'd say 2, maybe 3 months. I can see it.
right, right.
And
But you do
it's
think that's coming though,
I think it's a possibility. Yeah,
right?
and it could stretch out to even 6 months.
Yeah,
Um, with that being said, though, um, there was a point, and I'm skipping way ahead. There was a point
no,
when
go ahead.
Punk was in the ring, and he said, "This thing with your husband, Seth Rollins, is never going to end," which leads me to believe that they'll be partners in War Games or a Survivor
Right.
Series.
Yeah, yep. I agree. Like I said, we'll get there. You know, I'll be honest. The opening up of Raw with Uso, with LA Knight, with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, it was a little lackluster for me. It wasn't something that I was like, holy shit. It just I was
Well, it's
kind of
kind of like
whatever about it.
we've seen it. We've seen it. You
Right,
know,
right.
um, in one form or another, we've seen it. You know, so yeah, it's not. That's the problem with WWE is you've pretty much seen everybody face everybody at one point or another. You
But
know,
let me bring this up though, and I have to put you and I in this conversation. Fans often talk about we want more storylines, more of a slow burn, including you and I. We've said
yeah,
this, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yet here we are bitching
We're
because
fickle.
this is the
We're
right is
fickle.
exactly what's happening. So in many ways, I almost feel guilty about it because it's like, wow, baby, WWE really can't win when it comes to the fans. And as much as I like to call out the fans, you and I are part of the conversation as well.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's happening is we're seeing the slow storyline between these guys. But as you said, we've pretty much seen everybody face everybody in different matches, different teams, in the singles. I don't know what else they could do to really make me more interested in this, to be honest with you.
About the only thing it can really do is bring up some talent from NXT, some new blood. Hey, we got a surprise partner, blah blah, and bring up an NXT guy, you know. And NXT is not like it was 5, 6 years ago where, it was seldom watched and nobody really
Right.
knew who they were. I mean, it's I think very viable, on I don't watch it all that much, and I know most of the characters on there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that they could do is add another bloodline member, add a bloodline member to the vision. And the perfect bloodline member would be Big Jim and his wife, um, the fetus. She's pregnant.
It is.
Let the fetus join the vision.
Oh my god. Had that baby do a frog splash.
It'd be a fetus splash, man.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get back on track here. All right, so next we go to Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. We didn't get much out of this one. Um,
You know, Vince Russo a few weeks ago was complaining about them talking in Japanese. And initially I was like, really, come on, man. But I can right I can now understand what he was complaining about because this storyline, which really hasn't even begun yet, because we're going to see a heel turn. Um, I'm already tired of it. It's just not interesting to me anymore at all. And I think
well,
part of it is because of the barrier, the language barrier.
which is, I find strange because, Asuka's been here for what, 7 years? Kyrie Sane's got to be 5 years. Io Sky's
Right,
got to be 5 years plus. Now I live with a Hispanic woman. Do I speak much Spanish? No, I don't. But if I go to a Hispanic country,
right,
I'm going to force myself to learn.
right.
You know, so it's one of those things that you've been here long enough that your English shouldn't be as broken as it is. Speaking of which, where's Shinsuke?
Nakamori,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I actually looked into it not too long ago because I was wondering the same thing. Supposedly he's still signed with WWE, but he's not been anywheres on camera. But going back to the language thing, before I hear it from anyone who watches this, oh, you guys are being bigots. No, we're not. The fact of the matter is this: when you're trying to tell a storyline, um, in a company that, yes, they are watched all over the world, but they're very heavily watched here in the United States. To have that language barrier, it's very distracting because it's hard to follow the storyline. It really is.
You
So,
know, I'd rather have them speak Japanese just because of their facial expressions and the way they portray it. I get the gist of it, to be honest.
yeah, but
Yeah,
at the same time,
I know I find it irritating, but I get the gist of it. You know,
yeah, but at the same time, their body language, their facial expressions, it's not very good either, though. It's right on. Oscar's always fucking laughing. And so you don't know, is she telling a joke? And, I mean, it's hard to even follow just going according to their body language and their facial expressions as well. I don't think that this storyline is resonating with me. And from what I'm hearing from other fans, it's not resonating with them as well. K9 Cole, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Sorry I had to dip out, but it was important about next year's On the Fly.
Yeah. So we're talking about this storyline that involves Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors, and I'm saying, at first I was kind of into it, but because of the language barrier, I'm finding it more and more boring. Where are you with it?
Well, as far as the language barrier is a thing. It's like, why? I don't even know why they're doing that. If it's an American company, they're on American TV. No, but most people don't know how to speak Japanese, so everything should be in English, in my opinion.
Now, but
Now,
do you think that it matters that, WWE is now watched in every country because of
has been for
Netflix,
decades.
right? But I think more so now than ever before. So is this maybe a way to draw in that Japanese crowd that's watching it from maybe Japan?
Well, the thing is, they should have special commentators for that, not the wrestlers themselves doing it.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Because
I can see that point.
it's
and
very confusing. Even people in other countries, people in Sweden don't speak Japanese. So each area they're in, they should have their own broadcast team that speaks that particular language, and the rest, and just go with. And they could have it like how a lot of places they have it dubbed in, or they have a
subtitles.
subtitle.
Right.
Right,
Subtitles.
exactly. That would work.
Yeah. 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 I can see both of you guys' points.
But the action for the action that they're phenomenal workers, phenomenal wrestlers.
Yeah.
That part of it is very exciting to watch, in my opinion.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Mark.
All right, so next we go to Perez and Raquel versus Kabuki Warriors. All I got to say is Kairi Sane is crazy good. She is. She's phenomenal. I mean, that insane elbow off the top rope onto Raquel, on the floor was crazy.
It was. And, going to Perez, when she first joined the main roster, I really thought that she was going to get this major push to the top. But here lately, she's been the one that's been taking the L's in every match where she's attacked. When she's tagging, if they're going to lose, she's the one that's taking the L. Do you think, Mark, and then we'll go to you, K9, do you think WWE is kind of cooled off on Perez?
I think they finally realized that she's not the Spitfire they thought she was. I don't see the appeal to her, period, at the end. I don't see it.
Yep.
She talks like she's 6'4" when she's like 5'2", and and I can admire the swagger, but this girl is about ready to pee or something every time she's on live TV.
What about you, K9?
Actually, I think she's a hell of a worker. She's got a lot of talent, and a lot of times, when you're little, you got to talk like you're bigger. That's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in wrestling, they got a persona that they got to keep up, and I think she's very good at what she does. And I think that they're missing out if they don't push her harder like they should.
Yeah, I think putting her with Judgment Day, at this point in Judgment Day, I don't know if that was the best place to put her. Judgment Day is definitely not what they used to be. Ever since Damian Priest and Rhea left, they're not what they once were.
No. All right, so next we go to Pierce announcing that Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Champion. Really, you don't agree with that? I agree with it.
No, because this is the thing. We've seen Rio Sky so many times going after the world's champion. I was really hoping that we was going to see something more fresh since Stephanie Vaquera is involved in this. I really was. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand it. It makes sense. After all, Io Sky was the last champion. She's the one that lost it. So sure, she should have a rematch. But I was just really hoping that they was going to go in another direction with Stephanie. K9, where are you at with this?
Again, I think both of them are excellent wrestlers. I happen to think right now the women's division is even better than the men's division in the WWE, with the exception of a few wrestlers. But
right,
I think the women's division is a hell of a lot more exciting these days than it's ever been. And the men's division kind of took a different turn and went down some. But those two, I think it'll be a great match.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Now, I am predicting that at WrestlePalooza that we're going to see Stephanie Vaquera win that title. What about you guys?
Without a doubt. I mean, if Io wins, I'm okay with it, but I'd really be surprised if Stephanie Vaquera lost, to be honest. I think there's somebody they're going to strap a rocket on her ass right quick in a hurry.
Yep. Kate. Yep. And now, K9, I want to bring you into this conversation we just had real quick. So, according to Brian Alvarez, and again, I have to say this has not been confirmed. We're just going according to Brian Alvarez. WWE is absolutely signing AJ Lee. We will be seeing a mixed tag team match between CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza. The idea being that they really want to dominate that PLE is stacking heavy because they're going to be going head to head with AEW and their big pay-per-view of the year, which is All Out. Now, I don't know if this is just going to be a one-off or not. Do you think that having AJ Lee come back and perform in this match, will this win over people who are saying that they will not be getting the ESPN app to watch WWE Pellies, or do you think it won't make a difference?
I don't think it's going to make a difference whatsoever, because I know from what I've been seeing, what I've been watching and hearing, a lot of people are not going for it because it costs too much money. When it's right now still on Peacock for $9.99.
Right.
So no, that is not going to make a difference at all. Not at all. It would, to make that much of a difference, it would have to be Hulk Hogan coming back to life and being the main event. That's just the way it is. Nobody had.
I think it's going to pull some
type
market
of
share, not a
power.
lot, but I think it's going to pull some. You know,
It might, but nobody really has that kind of power like Hulk Hogan had.
Right.
Not at $30.
And that no, exactly at $30. Nope, it ain't gonna happen. I know I'm not gonna be doing it.
No
way in hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really comes down to a matter of $50 for AEW's pay-per-view or $30 to get the ESPN app, the PLE. Now, I'll be honest, and Mark and I were talking about this, and we both agree, when it comes to their monthly events, AEW versus WWE, I'm sorry, AEW beats WWE every single one, except maybe WrestleMania, because AEW just has better action in the ring doing their pay-per-views. And I would rather spend $50 to watch the AEW pay-per-view than to spend $30 and watch another whole home PLE like we just had on Sunday.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'd rather watch the action myself.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's called professional wrestling, not professional
entertainment.
Right, exactly. And I just don't see people doing that for that kind of money when it's $9.99 now. They just and the tickets to go see these things live are ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I mean the front row seats are about $6,000, but you brought up a good point. Look, you know, there's a lot.
I buy a motorcycle for that.
Right. Look, there's a lot of people saying, well, it doesn't make sense that, you know, fans will bitch about paying $30 versus paying $50. The difference is WWE has conditioned their fans to only pay $10 for their PLE versus, you know, fans who watch AEW's pay-per-views. They're, you know, AEW's conditioned fans to spend that $50. So even though, yes, it's more for AEW pay-per-view, it's a matter of the conditioning that you had, and you feel more ripped off for now having to spend $20 more to watch WWE.
And the fact is, as well, the $20 more is just for the pay-per-view, where right now it's $9.99. You get the pay-per-view and a whole rest of their library for that you could just go back to and watch WCW, AWA, you know, all that stuff on that program, on that app, you know. So they're screwing themselves.
Yeah, well, and it's not come out yet where the library is going to go. I've heard that it's going to go to their YouTube channel. I've heard it's going to go to the ESPN. So who knows right now where exactly the library is going to end up at.
It would be smart to do it. It would be smart for them to put it on ESPN to make it more attractive to some people to pay that much money.
Right.
You know, paper or PLEs have been, you know, anywhere from $5.99 to $9.99 now for what, 10 years?
Oh, longer than that, because
10 years.
Yeah, because before they went to Peacock, you had the WWE Network, and that was only $9.99, right?
No, it was $5.99.
Was it?
Yeah. In the beginning, then they raised it.
They it did go to $10. Now the difference being with these PLEs on WWE's network, you got all of those, which is included in the price. But when it came to WrestleMania at first, you had to pay an additional cost for WrestleMania. Then eventually it went to being included in the cost of the network.
I don't know.
So,
But yeah, no, to have a good ride for as long as we did, now I have to pay 3 times as much. No, I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
I don't
yeah.
see it either, and I'm not going to do it myself.
And I enjoy WWE, I really do. But let's take yesterday your Sunday's pay-per-view. 6 matches, and not even every title was defended. All right.
Right. I would have been angry if I would have paid $30 for that PLE on Sunday, because like I
Right.
said, it was ho hum. I
I
mean,
think
we both gave it
a C
C
minus.
minuses, and George Strong, who is a WWE guy, he even gave it a C.
Said
So I
he
mean,
doesn't believe in minuses.
right,
Otherwise, he
right.
probably
So
would have gone the minus.
right. So I mean, that tells you a lot right there.
And here's the other thing: wasn't it like 2 pay-per-views, and AEW was like 6 hours long?
Yep.
I mean, you break it down. That's what, $8 an hour?
Yep. And they have match after match after match.
Yeah, you don't see 6 matches on AEW. You see 8 or better.
Right. And for those of you who are watching, look, we're not bashing on WWE because we're AEW guys. I am a professional wrestling guy. If it's available, I'm watching it. I go to the indie shows. I watch NWA when I can. I watch TNA. I am a professional wrestling guy, period.
Dude, you wouldn't see
So,
midgets wrestle.
right. I love professional wrestling. So it's not about me being just an AEW guy and trying to talk shit about WWE. That's not it. I love WWE. I've said it over and over again. I get the wrestling matches I desire out of AEW, and I get the storylines that I desire out of WWE. But I'm sorry, storylines alone without great wrestling matches, more than just 4 or 5 of them, just it's not worth the money to me.
Well, here's an example. Randy came out SmackDown. Drew was already in the ring. They had a kerfuffle. Have we seen Randy versus Drew? Yeah, we have. I mean, they need some freshness in there, and I don't know if NXT is going to save them for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, all right, so let's get back to the brass
Yep.
tacks.
Yep.
All right, so then we go to Finn and JD with JD accompanying Finn, I should say. Finn versus Dragon Lee. Finn gets the win, but I did like how Finn was upside down, grabbed Dragon Lee's mask, and just ripped him off the top rope. I did love
was
that.
good.
I did like that. I thought, well, okay, that's one way to get out of that predicament.
Yeah, I don't know if
And it was a good match.
if Finn Balor and Dragon Lee tried to have a bad match, I don't know if they'd be able to accomplish it, because these two are very talented in the ring. And I think they complement each other's style, which led to them having a really good match. K9, what do you think about it?
I thought it was a very good match. And I'm not a really Finn Balor fan. I'm I don't know that. I mean, it's different, being in the business and if you know somebody in person, but just by watching him and stuff, I'm not a big fan, but he's a great talent.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you want to talk about slow burns. This deal between Finn Balor and Dirty Dom, man, this is a slow burn, because you know it's going to happen. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but that interaction backstage when the GM came and said that for Dom's match, that Balor and JD were banned from the building.
No, from ringside.
From ringside, yeah, you seen Finn Balor laughing. Oh, it's too bad. Ha ha ha. I mean, it's going to happen, but this is definitely a slow burn between these two.
Yeah, you didn't jump too far ahead, but yeah. All right, so next we go to Nikki Bella and Io Sky. I really didn't get the gist of their conversation. I must have been not paying attention to something. Then the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky. And that's the same old rhetoric that we saw earlier, pretty much.
So let me explain to you the gist of it. The whole gist of all of this is pointing to the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka specifically being jealous over anyone that's trying to be friends with Io Sky. I'll be honest, I was surprised to see Bella back on WWE so soon after that match that she had with Becky Lynch on Sunday, I thought maybe they would give her a few weeks because you could hear the fans booing Bella backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
K9.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, K9, your thoughts, if any?
Well, nah. I mean, people, the fans booing Bella really don't mean much to me because they're French, so it really don't matter.
Hey, now, wait a second. I'm French, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you're from America. They don't know
Yeah.
any
You're
better.
Creole. There's difference.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
I think they were booing Bella because, look, I don't blame them. They were booing Bella because of the terrible match that she had with Becky Lynch on Sunday. That's why they were booing her.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So next we go to. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, it happens, but you know, the all I can say is how she handles it and what she does next will show if she's really supposed to be back or not.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that she's back in the ring at developmental, really, honing in on her craft to make herself better. Because look, and you guys may disagree with me, but in my opinion, the women's division back in Bella's days is much different now. The women's wrestlers, they're much better. They're damn near, if not better than a lot of the men wrestlers that they have now. So Bella needs to catch up to where the women's division is at today, because that type of shit just won't work today, in my opinion. Mark, your thoughts on that?
I couldn't have said it better, really, to be honest. Yeah, she needs to elevate her game, and I don't know if she has the ability, to be honest.
Yep.
Is she a decent talent? Yeah, she's a decent talent, but a lot has changed in 10 years.
Right.
And the women's division now is probably better than I've ever seen it. God, you go back to look at, 80s women wrestling. I mean, it was atrocious, compared to what it is now.
More so
And
to me, more so the early 2000s. If you could, it's almost hard to watch the early 2000s compared to where it's at now. It
I don't know.
really,
You got
really
Lita and you
is.
got Trish, and they actually put on,
You
a good foundation.
They were the exception to the rule, though.
Yep.
You know,
If you want to talk about women's wrestling, realistically, the big gap between now and when it was really good, you got to go back to the 70s and back between the 40s and 70s is when women's wrestling was really, really good.
Right.
And now, what we have now, in my opinion, is equivalent to that.
Right. Yep. I agree. I mean, women like, the fabulous Moolah, and a lot of those women from back in that era. Yeah, absolutely. They were absolutely terrific. So yeah, I agree.
Debbie Combs way back when.
Yes.
Judy Martin.
Yeah.
Just
I know, but you look at the 80s and early 90s. You had Sherry Martel, you had Medusa Michelli. I mean, they were pretty decent for their time.
Oh yeah, no, they were very great wrestlers, very great. By the late 80s, though, Sherry had stopped wrestling and started managing.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, though, a big difference, even compared to the 80s to back, the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s, was, the wrestlers from the Moolah generation, let's just use Moolah, for instance, they were judged upon their in-ring work. By the time you got to the 80s, and I'm not taking away anything from these women, but once you got to the 80s and you got to Glow and stuff like that, yeah, they were working in the ring, but a lot of them will be a judge according to their looks and their appearances. And we've seen that carry through into WWF/WWE during the Attitude Era. That's when it really got sexualized. And it was because of women like Trish Stratus, Lita, especially Jazz, that led WWE's women's division completely out of that bullshit into what we have now.
Yeah, WCW was guilty of that too.
Absolutely.
Rosie.
Which did you fall off
Absolutely.
your chair?
No, him and his damn dogs. They used to bring to my house so I could trade them.
Oh yeah, I got to take mine out soon. He's whining.
I miss your dog. Huh. Oh well, she'll come back.
Yep. All right, let's get back to it.
All right, so let's see. New Day comes out for their match. In between that, though, Judgment Day. That's where Finn and JD get banned from ringside.
Right.
So New Day comes out. Uh, they're having a 6-man tag against Penta and the War Raiders. Now, I'm not a huge fan of War Raiders, but the move they put on to finish, who'd they finish off?
Yeah, they finished off. Not what is his name on the New Day? Not Kofi, but
Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name.
it doesn't
Anyways,
matter.
the
Yeah,
one guy had him up, at waist level, and Ibar climbed, I think, a top rope and just dropped on him. I was like, holy shit.
yeah. That was, but when this match first started, and I seen it was the War Raiders and Penta. The very first thing that went through my head was, holy shit, have they cooled off that much on Penta where they're now having them tag with the War Raiders?
Yeah, I know.
But surprisingly, they got the win. I wasn't expecting that.
With Penta, I kind of figured they would.
Yeah,
But New Day is still kind of semi-hot.
right.
All right, so next we go to a re-interview, talking about the title situation. Asuka and Kairi Sane show
I'll be
up,
right back.
and it kind of in a roundabout way, pretty much looked like Asuka was challenging Rhea.
Yep. Yep. Again, it goes right back to they want Rhea to stay away from Io Sky because Io Sky, she can only have Asuka for that friend. And obviously we know where this is leading. This is going to lead to a match between Rhea and Asuka. Something's going to happen that's going to put Io Sky in the middle of it. The question is, will Io Sky turn heel and we're going to officially have the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky and their faction back together? Or will Io Sky stay that baby face and we're going to have that feud between Io Sky and Rhea against the Kabuki Warriors?
It's hard to say. I'd be more interested in seeing Io Sky against Asuka,
Yeah, I agree.
to be honest.
Yep.
All right, so next we go to AJ versus Dom. Dom looking like a spotted cow.
He did.
I had to look. I'm like, God, he looks like a spotted cow. Yeah.
I was like, what
And it
the
wasn't even a
fuck?
good look for him, to be honest.
Right. Now, this was a decent match. I was surprised about how much offense Dom had against AJ. And I just thought that this was it. They were going to finally put the belt on AJ, but we see what happened. El Americano, whatever his name is, got involved. But this was my one critique of this match. When Americano was loading his mask up, fucking AJ was looking right at him when he was doing it, and then got caught off guard, kick in the stomach, which led to Dom doing a frog splash, and then a 1, 2, 3.
And apparently knocked him out.
Right. What the
I don't know how you get knocked out with a headbutt to the stomach or the chest, but because who was the commentary? Wade Barrett.
Right,
Hey,
yeah.
knocked JD or knocked AJ out.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? Are you watching the same match I am?
Yeah, I shook my I knew for sure that I was like, okay, AJ Styles is going to kick Americano in the head or something because he's watching this guy load his mask. Nope, that didn't happen. So I'm pretty sure at this point, Styles will not get that IC title before he retires.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think they want to give Dom a lengthy run, but I don't understand why. Um, and I did appreciate Dom walking down the aisle doing this with his mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, does his ring ability lack somewhat? It does. But let me tell you, that kid, when it comes to the entertainment aspect of it, the mic aspect of it, he's got it. He
yep.
absolutely does.
Yes, he does. And while we can bitch about the lack of action or lack of performance, and Dom's not a bad performer to be honest.
No,
He's
no,
he's
not at all.
he is actually developed very well.
Right.
Um, but I mean, you got to put in ring action versus his mic ability. His mic ability supersedes his in ring action.
Yep. I think one reason why maybe you and I and other people, I don't know, might be a little hard on Dom is because he is such a skinny kid. I think that if he put on just another 10, 15 pounds
Yep.
of muscle, that it would be more legitimized, as
Yep.
far as him being able to beat the people that he's beating.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, AJ should beat him hands down without a doubt, in my opinion. Um, but I mean, you take your average wrestler against Dom. Dom can actually perform,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
but when you got somebody with AJ's experience and ability, I
Right.
just, yeah, it takes some sort of interference to get the win. You
Yeah.
know,
Now, speaking of muscle, or in this case, losing muscle, have you seen Rock's latest pictures?
apparently he's bigger.
No.
Oh, he's slimmed down, huh?
He looks like he's going the Dave Batista way. He has
Really?
lost a shit ton of muscle,
Oh,
and
because
he's really thinned down big
I
time.
just saw a reel that's saying that no, unlike Batista, he's bulking up. And I
No.
saw that like 4 days ago.
Yep. Nope. Nope. A picture came out today, matter of fact. It showed how much muscle he lost willingly, obviously. It looks like he's doing the Dave Batista route and going thin.
Getting out the
Yep,
steroids?
I guess.
All right. Let's see. Next we go to Roxanne and Raquel with Adam Pierce. Roxanne wants to get into that title match with Vacarin and Io Sky. He says, you just lost the match. Don't come
Yeah.
talk to you and you just lost the match. Um,
I love when Pierce said that too. It's my fear when press first start talking that shit. I'm like, don't tell me that. We just watched this girl lose, and he's going to interject her into this match. And when he said, "You just lost a match," sadly enough, I think that was the biggest pop I did throughout the entire show was when he
yeah.
said that. That was
All right.
great.
So then Lyra comes in and they all start clucking like hens, talking about Bailey and whatnot. Um, Pierce gets rid of Roxanne and Raquel and tells Lyra that he's talked to Bailey and she'll be back in a couple weeks, whatever. She sounded good. Said a few odd things, but sounded good, whatever. Um, and Lyra was all put off with, well, you didn't really tell me much.
Right.
I'm back.
Okay.
All right.
Now let's talk about Bailey for a moment. We seen
Why?
the crazy we see the crazy
Vignettes?
vignettes that she's been doing. When she comes back, I suspect that she's going to have a character that maybe hears voices or something. That's what it looks like to me. She's going to be somewhat crazy. Do you
She's going to be
think
Eugene?
could be? The question is, do you think that this is going to enhance her career any further? Or
No.
do you think it's not going to make a difference that Bailey's run is done?
Bailey's run is done.
Kanon?
I think it's going to hurt it even more.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Storyline.
Right.
Very stupid.
Right. There's been very, very few storylines where we had a wrestler kind of going crazy that way, talking to themselves, hearing voices that actually worked. Very few. And I don't think this is going to be one of them.
No, I
The only thing I could think was good was when Nick Densmore did Eugene.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
what I
a
just
good one.
said. That's
Yep.
what I just said. She's gonna come back as
Yep.
Eugene.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. R-Truth, he made that work really well. But I think part of it was because he took control of the storyline himself, and he kind of added the comedy aspect to it, and people bought it. But yeah, I just don't think that Bailey has that ability to
Mm-mm.
do that on her own.
Now, didn't
Nobody
he?
has ever done crazy or could ever do it better than George the Animal Steel.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. Sid Vicious did a pretty good job.
Not
It was a
like
different crazy though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, George.
yeah,
George,
totally.
and wasn't George
Right.
a teacher too?
Yes,
He was
yes,
a
he
college
was.
professor.
Yep,
Yep.
very
And
intelligent man.
another one that was really good at it is even before George is he went by Dick the Bulldog Brower.
Brower, yep,
Yep,
Huh.
he was another one.
yep,
All right.
yep, yep. I just don't think it's going to work for Bailey. I don't,
Not
but
at
we'll
all.
see.
All right. So next we go to
I think it's
recap
going to
of.
hurt her career. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think it's going to hurt her career even worse than what it is right now.
Right, right. I agree.
I think she needs to go into a coaching position. Off air.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'll
next
agree
we
with
go
that.
to a recap of Roman versus Bronson at pay per view. Oh, PLE. Sorry.
Yep.
Then we go to an interview with LA Knight and Jey Uso, I guess, basically because he ended up coming in, and they just have a stare off pretty much. Then we go to Rhea and Punk, and then Pierce. Pierce letting Punk know that Seth is here. Next we go to Rusev.
So
Vignette.
wait. So time out for a second. I know we'll skip over this. So as we talked about, according to Brian Alvarez, AJ Lee is being resigned. But again, and this is why I keep on saying it's not being confirmed. My fear is this: they're not going to sign AJ Lee, and it's going to turn into a mixed tag match of CM Punk and Rhea versus Seth and Becky Lynch. And as popular as Rhea is, because of the fact that people believe it's going to be AJ, because of all the little signs that are there, if indeed it is CM Punk and Rhea, I think this is going to explode in their face and they're going to get booed out the fucking building.
No, I think it's a setup plan just in case, but and I don't think it's a bad substitute. Gives Rhea something to do since she's not in the title.
I don't think when I say they're going to get booed out the building, I don't mean that they're going to direct those boos directly at CM Punk or Rhea. Those boos would be directed at creative for it not being AJ, and the fans will let them know about it. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to a Rusev vignette, which in a kind of roundabout way was reminiscent of Hogan. You know, to me it was.
I would
Yeah.
never put Rusev in that category.
Go back and watch it because it was all about, hey, be number one. Hey, I mean, all he did was skip the vitamins. I did like that he pointed out that Sheamus brought his Irish body, but his French spirit. I loved it. That was probably the best line of the night.
Yeah, I just hope at this point they don't waste Rusev's career. They got him from AEW back to WWE. I hope they have something for him.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to Punk to the ring, calling out Seth. Says he's going to hijack the show until Seth comes out. Surprise, surprise! Music hits, and Becky shows up.
Now,
who were the fans chanting for that? Doesn't even
that's
work
right. So that's what I was about to bring up. This is what's important and why I am leaning AJ is coming back. The fans were chanting AJ Lee.
Oh, okay.
Becky Lynch was addressing that. When in the history of WWE have they allowed the talent to address chants of people who are no longer there? It's usually ignored, right? If it's not ignored, if it is addressed, more times than not, that is a huge sign that that person will be making a return. Kanan, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I don't know if their creative is smart enough to follow what they did, but normally the smart thing for them to do, since everybody was chanting AJ, is to bring her back. Period.
So apparently, AJ Lee has been part of ideas over the years that creative has had. They have wanted to bring her back, but for one reason or another, they just couldn't reach an agreement with AJ. So apparently, this isn't the first time AJ has been in the minds of creative and try to put her in a storyline. So I guess the big question is going to be, will WWE be able to meet the needs of what AJ Lee may want in a contract?
I think so, and a big reason is because it's going to be with CM, it's going to be with Punk,
Right.
and Punk's going to more than likely talk her into doing it.
Now, I would love for this not to be a one-off if this does happen, and this mixed tag team match against Seth and Becky leads to a title match between Becky Lynch and AJ wins that IC title.
And it probably will.
Could be.
I see it.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that the French were swearing in English.
Yeah. No, what I got a kick out of when they started screaming, "Fuck you, Becky," at first, the Netflix screen was going black, but you can still hear the sound. Then they came back and you can still hear it. Then they finally figured out, shit, it's the mute button we got to hit.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I did hear it. I know it was muted several times.
Now, for the life of me, I don't understand why they're on Netflix, why they're still doing it. I get it. Triple H has said they still want it to be a family show. But look, there's kids already in the audience there, so they're hearing the "fuck you" chant to begin with. I don't think it'll make a huge difference at this point if they just let it happen since they're on Netflix.
Well, like me, a lot of people, I couldn't even understand what they were saying, so I'm sure a lot of kids wouldn't even understand what they were saying.
Right.
They were saying, "Shut the fuck up, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up."
Yeah.
You know, I had to really listen to it though for a while. I was like, "What are they saying?" You know, I'm like, "Oh my
I was
god,
hoping
they're
she would
swearing in
shut the
English."
fuck up too.
Yeah,
Well, considering "fuck" is my favorite word,
right.
I was able to pick up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, again, it was funny to hear French swearing in English.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny, yeah.
So anyway, Seth finally does come on. Says, "You got something to say it to my face. Come down here and say it to my face." Becky blocked Punk repeatedly, and then Punk turned around left, and then Punk turned around, and Becky slapped him repeatedly, and Punk said, "You know what? You're gonna regret that."
Right.
You know,
Right.
which leads into the whole AJ thing, I think.
Yeah.
And then we end up with Jay Uso and LA Knight versus Braun and Bronson. And this match was, what to be expect, I was hoping for more.
Right. That's exactly what I say. It is what it is. It was predictable. I had a feeling that it was going to end exactly the way it did. And I mean, overall, like I said, Raw was a little lackluster for me. It did not make me excited to watch SmackDown, even though it was hinted by CM Punk that he was going to be on SmackDown because he asked where SmackDown was going to be. Pierce said Chicago. He basically said that in so many words.
Chicago. He's not going to miss Chicago.
He's going to be there. Well, this leads me to believe that AJ Lee possibly may make a return on SmackDown. And if she does it, they definitely want people to believe this so that everyone does tune in to SmackDown to see if she's going to make her return Friday on SmackDown.
Hard to say.
I was actually hoping she was going to do a run-in when Becky was slapping him.
Right.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting that.
I knew it was going to happen on Raw. I had a feeling that I did not know that SmackDown was going to be in Chicago on Friday, but my assumption was that the next time they're in Chicago before this next PLE, that's when she was going to make her return. I mean, look, she's going to have to make it sooner rather than later before this PLE, which is in about 3 weeks, because they need to be able to build upon her coming back in this whole thing with Becky Lynch. Overall, I'll give Raw a C plus last night.
You know, I'll go with a B minus just because of Rusev and his French spirit and go around with Becky and Punk.
Yep. What?
Other than that, yeah, I'd say a C plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
K9, you?
I'll give it a C because of Braun Breaker's spear. He's got the best spear in wrestling, period, right now.
He does.
Yeah. Matter of
It's
fact, you know
badass.
what? To go to the point of your saying, I think his spear is so good that as of right now, I believe that he should be the only one allowed to do a spear.
And
Right.
and his spear,
I
in my
know.
opinion, is better than Goldberg's, even when Goldberg was in his prime.
Oh, absolutely. Because the difference is,
Braun
he
speed.
has, his speed. Exactly. He has the speed behind it.
He does. And
It-
you know, when I hear him talk and everything, I mean, you could see and hear a combination of Rick and Scott in everything he does.
oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything.
He's built like Rick and he sounds like Scott.
Yep.
Overall, pound for pound, everything, he's the best WWE has right now.
Oh God, yes.
Yep.
God,
Yep.
yes.
He does a better Frankenstein than what the Steiners even did. That's how good he is.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh,
don't know
I
about
do.
that.
I haven't seen him do that yet, but I'll judge it when I see it next. But
I tell you why he has an edge over his dad, his uncle.
Because he was 5 years younger doing it.
No, he has the edge on it. He has the edge. Not even size. It's because he is so explosive that he's able to pretty much jump on the top of rope and do this move, whereas his uncle and his dad didn't do that. They just climbed up to the top to perform this move.
Right. But I
His
also
He
dad,
does
think
a
his
little bit
dad
better.
never did it.
I also
Right.
think his
Well,
size pretty
his
much
uncle.
is part of it because he's more agile than both Rick and
Right.
Scott were. That's
Absolutely.
Why. That's a big reason.
Absolutely.
very bad.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yep,
you know,
I
He's got the
agree.
power.
the thing is, Scott is bigger. I mean, even when Scott first broke in, Scott
Oh,
was
yeah.
bigger than Braun. You know, he's taller by a couple inches probably, and he had him by probably 20, 30 pounds. All right.
Easily.
So for Scott to be doing that stuff when Scott was doing it was phenomenal. To see Scott when he was Big Papa Pump do that was
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Hated
But
that whole Big Papa Pump.
that wraps up this episode of Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast, Monday Night Raw review. We will be back on Thursday to do a review of AEW Dynamite.
You mind?
On was that?
Go ahead. After we're done, you mind if I promote something real quick?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. We'll be back Thursday about 7:30. On Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, I have Barbara Goodish and Darla Stagg. They're going to be back on the podcast, and they're going to be telling stories about certain wrestlers. So that's be a very interesting episode. Go ahead, Kenan. The floor is yours.
This Friday, September 5th, Haines City, Florida. It's Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. I will be there as your TV commentator. There are going to be some awesome matches and awesome wrestlers on that card. So you got to come out and see it. That is September 5th in Haines City, Florida. And then on September 6th in Spring Hill, Florida, it's a show put on by veterans for veterans. And I'm talking about military veterans. It's Veteran Pro Wrestling. And remember the Pitbulls, Gary Wolf, he's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of great stars in that, and it's going to be a heck of a show.
Yeah, Kenan, why don't you go ahead and tag me or to whenever you promote it so I can put it on my page.
And I have some more news
Yep.
real quick. I talked with Sin earlier, and he has now officially made me assistant director of On the Fly.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I gotta go, guys.
All
Take
right.
care, Mark.
See you
Take
guys.
care, Mark.
Yep,
Guys, You all have a great night. Cannot again put all that on my page, sir, so we can promote that. Until then, we will see you guys Thursday at 6 p.m. for Donald Staggs and Barbara Goodish, and then for the AEW Dynamite review. Good night, everyone.
Good night.